Hi you guys, I am here to do my labor and delivery story, which so many of you have been asking about, and I just filmed Maverick's 1 month update, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go check it out. I will put the link right here and just see how Maverick's been doing his first month of life. Just give you guys an idea on how what I thought of my birth experience and if it went the way I thought it would, and you know, just my thoughts on it. So I remember on Thursday I had my OB appointment, and that was my 40-week appointment, which I swore I wasn't going to make it to, but I did, unfortunately. And so I went there with Rob. Rob's mom stayed and watched Paxton because she was with me that whole week, basically babysitting me and Paxton, thinking I was going to go into labor at any moment, but I didn't. And the last time I got checked the week before, they said I was 90% effaced and 4 centimeters dilated. But then I went to my OB that week, the 40-week appointment, and on Thursday, and they said I was 80% effaced and 4 centimeters dilated or something like that. I was like, how was I 90% last week and I'm 80% effaced this week? But it's just an opinion. So that's what they said, and they did a membrane sweep, which I asked for to hopefully, you know, help labor progress. And as soon as I went home, I started getting contractions, and I just was thinking it's going to happen. And that's what I was hoping that would happen. So when I got home, I was getting contractions probably like 10 to 15 minutes apart, and then maybe they would be like 10 to 18, something like that. And they were there the whole entire time, and then they just weren't that close. So then Rob's mom left because we knew Rob would be here because he is off on Fridays for work in the summer. So she went home, and I was thinking like, oh man, now that she left, it's going to happen tonight because I got the membrane sweep, and then we'll have to wait for her to get here. But I told my cousin, you know, keep an ear out on your phone because she lives a minute away. We might be calling you tonight because I feel like I'm going to go into labor because of my contractions. So my contractions kept coming 10 to 15 minutes apart. So we decided to go to sleep, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, I want to say it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock, they were like 5 to 7 minutes apart. So I called the hospital and talked to the doctor, and the doctor said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to get in the shower, in the hot shower, and after the shower, if they're still progressing and they're still strong, come to the hospital. And if not, then you can go to sleep, and you know that, you know, it's not time. So I did that. I took a shower, and I was regretting that I even did. I took a shower. As soon as I got out of the shower, they stopped, and I was like, are you kidding me? Maybe he just didn't want me to come in, and now they're gone. Great. Now who knows when I'm going to go into labor. So I was like, all right, Rob, I guess we're not going to the hospital. And I was afraid, me and Rob both were afraid that what was going to happen is exactly what happened. I woke up, it was Paxton actually woke up. He usually wakes up between 6 to 6:30. I think it was like 6, maybe 5:45, 6 o'clock. Heard him, and Rob goes in the room and gets him, and I'm like, I say to Rob, I'm in bed and I'm like in killer pain. Like from pain from like to a 10 was like a 9. I was in so much pain, I thought I was going to give birth. And I was laying in bed seeing how I was feeling, and the contractions were like 2 to 3 minutes apart. And I was like, oh my gosh. Our hospital is like 45 minutes away. They told us to come to the hospital when they were 5 to 7 minutes apart, and here they're 2 to 3 minutes apart, and we still have to wait for someone to get here to be able to leave. I'm like, Rob, come here. And he just knew that it was serious, and I was not kidding around. Like, we needed to go. And if you followed my journey for a while and watched my delivery day video with Paxton, I will link that right here. My water broke, so I didn't have to worry about contractions or not making it to the hospital. This time I was like, oh my gosh, we should have left earlier. So thankfully my cousin got here, and she just stayed until Rob's mom got here. And then so we left, and on the way to the hospital I'm like in so much pain, and Rob would be talking to me, and I'm like, no, like please don't talk, like I need no one talking. When I'm in pain, I just like I want it to be silent. I don't want to hear anybody. I just want to be like zen and just like concentrate. So we get to the hospital and they check me, and I'm like not being able to even like talk. Like, I need to go upstairs, like please admit me, I need to have this baby. So we get inside, so they check me. I am 6 centimeters dilated, and I'm like already knowing when I even got into my car to leave, I'm like, I want the epidural. I'm in so much pain. So they were like, all right, hopefully we can make it upstairs in time so you can get the epidural. I'm like, hopefully? What do you mean hopefully? No, I want the epidural. No, stop. And I guess because I was 6 centimeters already. So then I get upstairs and I'm just waiting for this epidural. I am like, oh my gosh. With Paxton, I had so much back labor because he was sunny side up. So the back of his head was facing my spine instead of the other way that it's supposed to be. So as soon as I got the epidural, which people asked if the epidural hurt, heck no, it didn't hurt. I know it hurts a lot of people. It did not hurt at all. The only thing I was worried about was having a contraction while they were doing the epidural, but it was totally fine. It didn't hurt at all. Compared to the contractions, I was like, whatever, it's fine. So I got that, and then that took a while to start working, and I could still feel my legs and stuff, and I could still lift them a little bit, and then finally it kicked in. And then with myself, I got tested positive for strep B, and it's just like a natural bacteria that you have in your body, but it can be dangerous to babies, so they just give you an IV with antibiotics so it doesn't pass to the baby. You can have it with one baby and not the other. I did test positive with Paxton and Maverick, so I knew, you know, what I had. I knew I had to get an IV and everything. So I got to the hospital. What time was it? Maybe like 6:45, 7 o'clock. I'm not positive of the times. I'd have to go back to that delivery day video to see the exact times. But so we got to the hospital, and I was thinking with Paxton, I was in labor for 17 hours. I pushed for 2. I tore really bad. I had a really bad hemorrhoid, and that was so painful. I've never had one before, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Recovering from that was very, very painful, and it took a very long time to heal from that, and my tear. I did have a midwife. I didn't have a doctor that delivered me, and I was so happy that I got the midwife. And she was just so confident, and she knew right away I wanted to do skin on skin. She wanted to know if I wanted to do the delayed cord clamping, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I've heard of that. I didn't even think that I could ask for that. And she's like, oh, absolutely. She was just so confident, which made me really confident. So with the antibiotic for strep B, they want the antibiotics to run for 4 hours before you're pushing, unless you really feel like you have to push. Right before 12 o'clock, I was like, I have to push, because at that time 4 hours went by and the epidural was like basically running out. I could feel all the contractions, not as bad as I could feel them, but I definitely knew when to push, and I definitely felt uncomfortable. Because I know they give you that thing to push, and I never pushed it, which I was thankful for, because I was so concerned about tearing and the hemorrhoids that I wanted to make sure I could feel them with Paxton, but I wanted to make sure I could feel it even better with Maverick because of going through the tearing and stuff. As soon as I said, like, I have to push, the midwife was ready, and she's like, all right, let's do this thing. I was close to 12 o'clock anyways, so I did like 4 pushes, and I got him out, and I knew exactly when to push, and I was so happy. I couldn't have been happier for that birth. Paxton's birth, I loved that birth. I pushed him for 2 hours, which was exhausting, and I tore, and I got the really bad hemorrhoid, and they said with him, you know, you can push as long as you want. He's not coming out, which is why I had to get the forceps, because he was sunny side up, and every time he'd go out, he'd go right back in. Him, he was not sunny side up, so he just came out so much easier, and plus it's my second child. I just was so amazed how well that delivery went, and how thankful I was that I did tear. I did have a second-degree tear, just like with Paxton, but it wasn't deep, so I was thankful about that. And I did not have one hemorrhoid, which I was also very, very thankful about. I did get a hemorrhoid whenever I had my first bowel movement. I did get a hemorrhoid, but it was not very painful. And the healing with Paxton, I want to say it took like 7 months to fully heal. This time I feel like no problem, in 2 weeks I will be completely healed. I'm barely bleeding, and I just feel so much better physically this time around. I'm so thankful. So after the delivery, He slept in our room the whole time. He nursed perfectly. And it has just been amazing. And I just can't thank Lauren, who was our midwife, enough for that amazing birth, and for my husband, who was super supportive. He was really supportive with Paxton, and just as much this time around. I'm just so thankful that it wasn't long. Like, it was so crazy that he was here at what, 11:56. I left here at like 6 something. People are gonna be visiting, like my mom and dad got there, and Rob's mom and dad, and it was like we had the whole day with Paxton. He was born at 7:54 at night, and at that time they had visiting hours, and it was like, all right, they could visit for 10 minutes and then they had to leave because visiting hours are over. So this time it was so nice knowing that people could come visit us, and we just had the whole day, you know, it felt like we had a whole extra day, and it was just really, really nice. And the hospital was great. I don't know, it was just perfect. When he was born at 7 pounds 7 ounces, and he was 21 inches long. He now weighs 8 pounds 13 ounces. That was at his last doctor's appointment, so I'm not, you know, 100% that's exactly what he weighs right now. But he's such a good baby, and he looks so much like Paxton. It's unbelievable to me. It's crazy. It looks like Paxton but with dark hair. Sometimes he looks like, you know, himself when he's awake, but a lot of the times, especially when he's sleeping, yeah, I'm talking about you, he looks like Paxton. And he had his first smile at the hospital, which was so cute and breathtaking, but I know that was definitely gas. But you know, whatever the reason, I was just awesome to see that smile. He was just a perfect baby. But I think that's all I want to talk about for my labor and delivery story. I couldn't ask for a better delivery, and I'm just so thankful. And he was healthy, had no problems, and it was perfect. And it just went so smoothly. But I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you go check out Maverick's delivery day video. I will leave a link right here, and also down below in the description bar you can check out Maverick's 1 month update. You can check out Paxton's delivery day video and Maverick's delivery day video. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our channel to watch our family vlogs, and we will see you guys all next time. Bye.